All right. Well, this is Captain Christopher German for CatamaranSite.com. I am with Alejo and Andrea of SV Hakuna. They have a YouTube channel. They have a website. All of that is Living Hakuna. They live on a 2008 Lagoon 420. And that's being brought to you today by CatamaranSite.com. CatamaranSite.com is a great website if you're learning how to own a sailboat, a catamaran particularly, or if you want to buy, if you want to sell, anything you need to know about owning a catamaran, they have that kind of stuff at that website. But before we go too much further, you should probably learn about the people we're talking to about today. The SV Hakuna is as I said, a 2008 Lagoon 420, and Andrea and Alejo chose to live aboard this vessel after being campers for a while, you guys, and then you got into kite surfing. And tell us your story. How did you guys get into all this stuff?
Yeah. Well, we've been living on board Hakuna for a year now, and it all started, Alejo just had this dream. We had already been traveling for, I think,
Like
2 years. 2 years. We had been just chasing the wind, just going kite surfing, wherever there's wind, we would just go there and live there 3 months. Then he built a travel trailer. We lived in that travel trailer for a couple, like 6 months or so,
yeah.
Right? Traveled around the US, Mexico, and then we went to Colombia, and we were there, and that's when the idea of living in a catamaran came up, and then we started working towards the dream. I was I didn't believe it could happen because it seemed like way out of our league, but here we are.
But it happened.
It happened. And yeah, that's kind of about it.
Well, here is to realized dreams. I'm so glad to hear you guys did that. And quite frankly, we're trying to inspire all kinds of other people to choose that lifestyle as well. And you can do so at CatamaranSite.com. But first off, tell us a little bit, why did you choose the Lagoon 420? What was it about that boat that made you guys kind of say, that's the boat for me?
Well,
so I think, we started looking into catamarans because for Alejo, it wasn't an option to get a monohull. He just wanted something spacious. We also travel with our dogs. They're very big. They're Akitas. They're very big dogs. And so it's always been for us like they've been a priority for us always. So we wanted them to be as comfortable as we were going to be. And so that's why, choosing a catamaran was an option. So we didn't know about the Lagoon 420 when we started looking into catamarans. We looked at the Lagoon 410. We looked at Leopards. We looked at Fountain Pajot, yeah. And so the Lagoon 420, really, we didn't know about it until,
doing a lot of research.
We were doing a lot of research, and we found that, and we're like, okay, this is our dream boat. And
that's it.
That's it. We knew we wanted that boat because it's like in terms of comfort, it's, I think the most comfortable, one of the most, if not the most comfortable catamarans, one of the most comfortable out there. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I think it's like for the size for a 42-foot catamaran, it's like the biggest you can get in space, like interior and exterior. So yeah, I think that was like a deal breaker for us. And also like we chose a catamaran because of the movement. It will be a lot easier for the dogs, and for us it will be a lot more like a house. So yeah.
And one of the deal breakers for us, we just wanted, and this is maybe something that you're gonna ask further down the interview, but just having a shower separate from a toilet, it was huge for us. It was one of the few catamarans that actually had that option.
In that size.
Yeah. So,
well, that's exactly where we're going with this thing, and I'm glad you bring up, particularly, I mean, you're living with 2 dogs, and you 2 on there. They're big dogs, so we might as well count them as human beings, right? But what do you guys have? You have it's a charter version. So how many staterooms you have in there, and how many heads? And tell us a little bit about the layout of the boat.
Okay, so the layout, it's four heads and four cabins. So 2 in each hole, like two cabins and two heads in each hole. And we chose that type of layout because, I mean, it's more, it's more space. And if we wanted to have guests over, we could have more people. And at first we were thinking of having like a charter business.
Yeah.
Of just like bringing on people so we can pay off the boat. But it ended up like not
happening.
Didn't work out that way, huh?
What insurance company would cover people like us that had no idea how to sail? Like that would never happen. So So we didn't end up doing that. And one of the other things about why we chose the charter version, well, we looked into the owner's version, but it's a lot cheaper to go with the charter version, and we're actually glad we did, because we have an entire room just for not for storage, well, for storage, for like all our kiteboarding gear, you know, all the diving stuff. So it's great for us, and it's very convenient. And in terms of something that you were asking about the layout, we have 4 heads, but the two heads in the bow, the shower is separated from the toilet, and the wash, where you wash your hands. I don't remember what it's called. And then in the stern, the 2 heads in the stern, it's within the same bathroom. Like it's still in the same place, I guess. But it's still, you're not showering on top of the toilet, which is a lot of what happens in a lot of catamarans. You literally have to be showering on top of the toilet. And
that's pretty much every boat I've ever been on. You had to shower basically in the toilet, don't you?
Yeah, and that was a deal breaker for me personally. That was huge. So
yeah. Well, you know, speaking of sanitary stuff, I mean, you guys live with 2 dogs. What's it like living with dog hair and all the other things that are going on? How do you guys handle that in a catamaran?
A lot of cleaning.
Yeah, we have a lot of vacuum cleaners. We have to clean every single day. If not, it gets really messy. But it's part of it. You know?
And the sand and the hairs and and everything.
But I imagine that, you know, having the extra space for the cleaning supplies and the full size vacuum and all the stuff that you need, that's probably very helpful with the catamaran versus any other vessel, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Totally. Well, tell us a little bit about where she was built and how you guys got her. I understand you had to pay some extra money to get her imported to the United States. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Okay, so she was built in France by Lagoon, and we bought her here in the U.S. in South Carolina from a German family that they bought the catamaran in Croatia. They did like 1 year sabbatical, and they ended up here in the U.S., but it had a German flag. So we had to do the importation so we can register the catamaran here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning a graphic where you have to point to all the different places that boat is connected, because it is an international boat, apparently, huh?
Yeah.
So you got her imported here, and you decided to move aboard. What's the best thing you think about this boat? What is your favorite part of living on this boat in this particular boat?
It's just so comfortable. Honestly, we've been on other catamarans and other monohulls, and you know, most of the people that actually come on board our boat, and they're just very surprised by the amount of space. And people that look at it from the outside, they ask like, "Are you sure it's a 42?" Because it just seems a lot bigger. So for us, just the distribution, just again, you know, having the dogs and giving them that additional space, because we're already living in a you know different from like living on land, and so. Just having that space inside the salon, and then just also inside the cabins, we're able to walk around the cabin. We don't have to just like jump on the bed, like dive into the bed. We can actually walk around. It's very comfortable. It's very comfortable.
And also like the headroom, it's very high, so it makes the interior feel like very big.
Yeah.
Well, so, that's a great point. I don't know how tall you. How tall are you, sir?
I'm like 5'11".
5'11". So you're not a short guy, but it's got a good headroom for it. Do you find you have yourself to duck beneath the doors or anything like that, or you've got a good headroom?
And actually,
like a 6 at the previous owner.
He's a German.
Like
he was
6'2".
He's so tall. Yes.
Oh, really?
Super tall guy, and he was just fine with the headroom.
Yeah, he could walk like everywhere in the boat without docking or anything. So it's super like nice.
Yeah, sailors tend to have this like permanent bruise in the middle of their forehead from walking into doors. So if you guys managed around that, you've built the best sailboat there is, apparently. So tell me about sailing this boat. Do you guys have you had her out in heavy weather? What is she like when it gets to be a little bit too breezy?
All right, so heavy weather. Well, since she's pretty heavy, so it moves, but it's not like other like performance catamarans that it moves like a lot. This one's like more steady, but we get a slamming from the bridge deck because the clearance is not that high. What else? Like for rough weather, I mean, she handles everything like pretty well. She's pretty tough. She's heavy. It feels like a tank. So,
yeah, it feels like.
I mean, and the sailing. for heavy weather, we just reef the sails and that's it. I mean, she goes. She likes windy days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good because where are you guys located right now? You're down in the Caribbean, yeah?
No, right now we're still in Miami.
Oh, you're still in Miami. Okay. Well, it's windy down there in the next couple of months. So you guys going to be taking her out in the next couple of months and stretching her out in heavy winds?
Yeah,
That's the goal.
for sure.
We're planning on sailing all the way to South America. So
Okay.
hopefully it works out.
Well, there you go. Have you reefed her? I mean, how hard is she to reef? How hard is she to kind of, rig for heavy weather? Is that a 2-man job, 1-man job? What do you think?
One-man job. Everything's done like in the helm. Like all the lines come to a helm, so you can do everything by yourself. If you have to go up to a boom, it's pretty easy. You just jump like 2 times and you're right there in the boom. So I mean, it's very easy to handle that boat with just one person.
Uh-huh. Would you say she's how does she perform in light winds? Is she not like the light wind days at all?
No, definitely
She's
not.
very, very heavy and no.
Yeah, it's not a performance, and I think that's the bad side of having such a comfortable boat. It's it's great in terms of space, in terms of comfort, but when we're sailing, the other time we were sailing with a couple that was in another catamaran. It was
A sea wind.
a sea wind, and they just arrived 2 hours before we did.
They had like 11 knots of wind and they were going like flying like 7 knots.
7 knots. And we're sticking to our 5 knots, like a little turtle.
We're going pretty slow.
How about docking and motoring? I mean, how is she, in close quarters, and is she very maneuverable with her motor?
Yeah. We have 2 big engines. They're like 75 horsepower engines.
Uh-huh.
So I dock and everything's pretty easy. Just take it slow and you know how it is.
Yeah.
Take it slow.
So if you've got good wind, you use the sails, and if you've got no wind, you use the motor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes we just motor sail, like we do both. And then in terms of what was I gonna say? In terms of I lost it. Never mind. I lost it. I have like a short-term memory.
So what about her points of sail? How does she go to wind? Is she a good close haul boat?
They what? I'm sorry?
How does she go to wind? Does she like go upwind at all?
Yeah. She sails pretty good upwind, but I think like the best point of sail will be like beam reach. I think like for all catamarans will be beam reach, and we love going downwind.
Yeah.
With the
parasailer,
parasailer, it's amazing.
it's the best kind of sailing. Just like
Well, I imagine as kite surfers, you guys probably appreciate the downwind leg a lot more than the average bear would be, yeah?
yeah, very comfortable. It's perfect. It's super calm, very peaceful. Yeah, it's great.
Well, let's talk. Okay, you obviously love your boat, but if you could change anything about your boat, if there's something that maybe the designer didn't think of or something, what would you say if there's one detractor to the Lagoon 420? What would that be?
Man, what would you say?
So I think we had thought about something here.
I think like one of the things that I would change is the Davis for the dinghy, put it a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when we get like really big like waves, they hit the boat and the dinghy starts taking on water. So we have to make sure it's like the plug is out of the dinghy so it doesn't get filled up with water.
Uh-huh.
I think that's one thing.
Yeah, one of the other things was that the roller furter, we've had some issues with it. The original roller furter for the jib, it gets stuck sometimes, and Alejo, he does a lot of research on that, and I don't know what he wants.
Yeah, like the original roller furler that the 420 came with is like it has like a problem from factory, and they did a recall, and the people that did the recall, they'll be fine. But like our boat has the original, so it gets like stuck, and so we have to change it like later on in the future.
So is that on your to-do list? Is this change out the roller furler on there?
Yeah. On the
What other, is that the only modification you'd make? Or is there anything else you have on your to-do list?
What else? Maybe like feathering props.
That would maybe we could get another knot, because anything we can do to make the boat faster, because it would be great.
Well, we got to get your YouTube subscribers to help, pay those bills. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So while I've got you, how's it going with the channel? How are you guys liking recording your life and sharing your world on the sailboat?
It's pretty cool. I think we've learned a lot. It's good to, in addition to sharing with people, which is really cool because we get a lot of positive comments and a lot of people, saying that it's very motivational when you hear that you inspired someone to do the same thing or to live in a similar way that you do. So I think that's very special. And then also just we looked back to the videos when we first started and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe we were doing that. You know, we had no idea what we were doing. And we were trying to move this 42-foot giant catamaran. And, you know, we had a bunch of yachts in front of us. Like if we like crashed into one of those yachts, we would be in debt forever because they were so expensive. So I don't know, it's funny to look back and see how much progress we have done and how better we have gotten just in general, like in terms of being able to feel more comfortable with all the repairs, because there's tons of repairs when you live on a boat. There's every other day you have to do some kind of maintenance or some kind of repairs. And then, but in addition to that, just the sailing, you know, Alejo has been like taking on the captain role like 100%, and he's great at it. So I think that has given us, you know, kind of like each one of us identifying with a role in the boat, and just kind of like the lifestyle. You know, I do a lot of the videos and a lot of we also have an online business, and then he helps me a lot with it, but then he has been like on the role for being the captain and doing really good at it. So
well, that sounds absolutely amazing. Well, let me get you back to your beautiful world out there down in Miami right now. I'm sure half the people freezing in America would love to be with you right now. But I have Alejo and Andrea from Living Hakuna. That's the name of your YouTube channel. Find it at Living in Hakuna. And that's also your website, livinghakuna.com, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, make sure you check them out because they put out a new video every Sunday is your broadcasting schedule, and they're living on a 42-foot Lagoon 2008 version down in Miami right now on their way to South America. Folks, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
And if you would like to learn more about what they're doing down there, you can go to their channel, or while you're online, go to catamaransight.com and check out all the boats for sale out there, and you can join the world of the catamaran lifestyle with these folks.
Can I add one thing?
By all means, yeah.
We actually found our catamaran through Catamaran Sight. So
oh, talk about that. That is amazing. Okay. Hey, catamaransight.com. If you're looking for a sailboat, just like Andrea and Alejo, they have them, and they got down to Miami right now on their way to South America. Hey, thanks for watching, and make sure you tune in because we'll hopefully be doing this every week from here on out. Have a great day.